are kings of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
It's a rescheduled game from the 4th of July on the 6th of July. It's Wareham and Bourne coming up on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Good to be back in the friendly confines alongside Jack Hunter. I'm Aiden Blank. Jack, the Gatemen played probably their best game during this losing streak last night, but couldn't quite seal the deal. They come up just short and now look to return the favor at Spillane Field.
Yeah, it was a very tough loss. You're facing the hottest team in the league right now in the Bourne Braves, and you lose by 1 run in the bottom of the 9th inning, your second straight game where you've been walked off. The Wareham Gatemen are now 2-5 in 1-run games. So you think from a regression standpoint, you gotta return to the middle at some point. But also there are things that you can do to be better in 1-run games. Clutch situations, leaving runners on base, having clutch outings out of the bullpen late in the game. The Gatemen played a good game yesterday, especially early on, but you just got to step up. Somebody's got to step up late in the game.
Tonight, the much-anticipated starting debut of Gavin Black. We've seen him in relief, and we'll get to a little bit more on him later on, but hopefully a starting pitcher that can really carry the Gatemen. We saw shades of it with Yoel Tejeda last night. Hopefully a very dominant starting pitcher that can bring the Gatemen 5-6 innings out of a start.
Well, that's what they're hoping. In this 5-game losing streak, no Gatemen starting pitcher has gotten an out in the 4th inning. All outings have been 3+ innings or shorter. So for Gavin Black, a guy out of Northwest Florida State College, committed to Mississippi State next year, the biggest thing is you just got to be in the zone. Yoel Tejeda was not bad yesterday, but 3 walks in the first inning drove up his pitch count. It allowed the Bourne hitters to see him more early on in the game, which hurt him later. So you got to be in the zone early and often. Use the defense behind you.
The Gatemen, at one point, were in the top half of the league in batting average. Now they're down to 7th. And their hitting has, well, kind of dropped off a little bit. For more on how they can remedy that, here's the hitting coach, Mike Mobbs, and Amanda Foster.
I'm here with a special guest today, hitting coach Mike Mobbs. Mike, thank you for joining me.
Thanks.
I was talking with Bobby Bozer yesterday about this idea of mobbism. He's wearing a shirt after a game. You're the guy who came up with this. Can you kind of explain to me and all the viewers what that is?
Yeah, mobbism was obviously just a play on my last name, Mobbs. A couple years ago, I was coaching some high school players, college players, and when I had a few maybe catchy sayings that came along with my coaching style, they'd say, oh, that's a mobbism. I guess it was similar to like yogiism, like Yogi Berra. So that's where it started, mobbism, and then I decided to create my own brand called Mobbism and trademark the name, and then I've got some apparel and some gear coming out with some of the sayings on it. And Bobby was a player of the game a few weeks ago, so I was giving some free shirts to the player of the game if we won, and that offensive player got a Mobbism shirt.
And what are some of these mobbisms?
I mean, they vary. They're sometimes life motivational quotes, but the one that Bobby had was goes to my approach to teaching hitting, and it basically was about we don't work on hitting the pitch that's right down the middle. That's the easiest one to hit. That's what everyone wants to get, and in baseball lingo, that's called a cookie. But the shirt was basically saying you got to eat your veggies before you get a cookie. So it's a batter with a strike zone box, and the veggies outline the strike zone box with the cookie in the middle. So we're trying to get good at hitting the well-located pitches, not just the one right down the middle that you want to hit.
Well, and you kind of touched on it, your role as the hitting coach. What's your role here in the summer, since it's a summer league and not necessarily a school league? What are you doing with these guys?
Yeah, I would say, hitting coach, and then third base coach, obviously, during the games. Defensively, working with the outfilders. And, more than anything, I think on the hitting side, these guys are super talented. They got here, I told them day one, you guys got here on your own. I didn't do it. I didn't do anything for you. So my job really is to help them continue the success they've had and help them keep the routine that they've had in the college season that's led them to get into the best league in the country. And I would say maybe if I can help them in any way, it's probably more between the ears than anything. They all have a ton of physical ability, so it's more about just helping keep them simple with their thoughts between the ears. And I understand how hard hitting is, so they know they're not going to hear from me that it's easy. So I'm always trying to help them on the mental side more than anything.
And what's your favorite part about being in Wareham this summer?
I think it's just making relationships with these guys. And, I was here in 2018 and we won the championship. So that's obviously a main goal of being here as a team, is to go home as the the championship team in the Cape. But more than anything, I think it's just about creating relationships with these guys and trying to help them and develop in their careers. And just like in 2018, we had 37 guys go on to play pro baseball. So I'll be looking forward to, finishing the summer strong and then following them along in their careers beyond this summer.
Great, thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back to the Leadoff Spot. It's Gavin Black's first start with the Wareham Gatemen, and for more on that, we thought we would bring in the broadcaster for his former team. Earlier this summer, he played in the New York Collegiate Baseball League with the Syracuse Saltcats, and their broadcaster, Austin Platt, is with us now. Austin, thanks so much for joining us.
Aiden, boy, what a small world it is. He goes from Syracuse, where I am, to you guys on the Cape, but you guys are going to enjoy him. We miss him already, I can say that.
Tell us a little bit about Gavin. The big news coming from him a couple days ago was that he's going to go pitch at Mississippi State in the fall. What makes him such a can't-miss prospect?
Well, the biggest thing coming into the summer, we knew he has electric fastball. I mean, he can touch up to 97 miles an hour. We had the radar gun in one of our games, and he was touching mid-high 90s. So that's the biggest thing. He can blow a fastball by you anytime. His strikeout numbers are off the charts. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. He doesn't give up a lot of hits. He is the definition of an ace, and he can give a team length like Wareham. And he's just a dog, and he's someone that, of course, 2 years of community college really paid off, and rather at Northwest Florida State, and you knew he was going to a top D1 school.
The Gatemen obviously started with a couple of pitching prospects. A lot of them ended up leaving. And so Gavin Black gets a chance to come in. Why was he given that chance? What did he show in Syracuse and in spring ball that makes him so good and high on the list for someone like Ryan Smyth?
The biggest thing is that he can give a team length, and this year in 3 starts with us here in Syracuse, gave us 15 innings, 4 innings one time, 5, and then 6, and there was only 1 inning of those 15 where he gave up runs. So that's the biggest thing, is that he can go through an order twice without a problem. The 3rd time through the order, that one time is where those problems were created, and eventually those runs were scored. But the strikeout numbers are there. He just doesn't give up a lot of base runners. He's good with runners on base. He holds runners on. And, there's not much not to like about Gavin Black, and I'm sure Mississippi State is really happy to have him.
That's Austin Platt, broadcaster for the Syracuse Saltcats in the New York Collegiate Baseball League. Austin, thanks so much, and best of luck this summer.
You got it, and you as well. Enjoy him.
Back on the Manager's Show with Ryan Smyth, and Coach, you've had a little bit more time to process last night's loss. What's the feeling of the team going into today?
It was good. We talked this morning. We got some things out in the open and clear. The good thing about, this skid is you get to see what kind of team you have. And guys are genuinely pissed off that we're losing, which is a good thing. That means they're invested in this and they want to be here. The energy every single morning, no matter what the prior night has been, it's been pretty positive. We were bouncing around pretty good today. And that's something that you appreciate as a coach out here. We're not even halfway through this season yet, so a team that's willing to fight and wants to be here, you feel like you stand a chance in the end.
Yeah, well, a halfway game today, in fact. And I was going to ask, we talked a lot about the chemistry of the team in the beginning of the season. What's it like now?
I think it's the same. These guys, they're gelled really quick. Even with a lot of the changeover that we had early on, most of these guys are here to stay now. So we got a good 22 games left with these guys, and we'll see where it falls.
Oh, and Gavin Black starting tonight, coming up from New York. What was it that led you to bring him up here? What have you seen from him? What do you expect?
He's got an electric fastball. He's got some strikeout stuff, which I felt like we needed. I think he's going to be able to go deep into games. At least he had prior to. So having an arm like that right now is good. We need starters to get through 5 or 6 innings.
All right, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.